Hey, all my Virgo friends. Welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Teri Hunter. I'm an intuitive astrologer, and I'm here today to talk about your March 2024 monthly horoscope. These horoscopes are based on whole sign Western astrology in the Pacific time zone. So if you are not in the Pacific, please adjust for your location. I also want to say that these are, while they're based on Virgo rising, these are also applicable to Virgo moon and Virgo sun, as well as if you have a stellium in Virgo, which is 3 or more personal planets. I also, if you're familiar with astrology and you're familiar with the house systems, if you are a late born Virgo rising, let's say it's anywhere from 20 to 29 degrees of Virgo rising, you might want to look at this in the Placidus house system because that puts the first house actually back into the 12th house and significantly changes that first house energy. So here we go. Let's jump right in. The month starts off with a continued conversation with your ruling planet, Mercury, in conversation with the Sun and Saturn. I believe that this dynamic right here is really an opportunity. Saturn has been wanting to build a strong conversation and spiritual foundation, asking us to look where we are building our creativity, our dreams, our hopes in a way that is sustainable. Saturn very much asks us to endure beyond our own comfort. But as an intuitive astrologer, I believe that endurance is really looking at how I'm thinking. And are my thoughts, is my speech aligned to that which I want to experience, that which I'm striving for, that which I dream about? Or am I inadvertently stoking my own fears and contemplating only through my eyeballs the possibilities ahead? We see here as the month opens that Mars and Venus are in a conversation in the sign of Aquarius. Aquarius is very individualistic. It's a sign that is about the future. It involves innovation and technology and our hopes and our dreams. It is co-ruled by Saturn. So here, I think as Venus went through Capricorn, she was really looking at building with her skills in February, using her talents to create her own sense of flow and ease. And here Mars is like, let's be brave in that action. Pluto is always hanging out here in the background, just really transforming our deepest psychology, the deepest places that we inadvertently enslave ourselves through our mind. Aquarius is your 6th house. Pisces is your 7th house, Virgo rising. So this 6th house, Pluto, is giving you an opportunity to completely change and renovate and look to the future in how you live your everyday life. You naturally rule the 6th house. This is a house where we see thought process, we see work, we see employers and employees, we see our health as it relates to our mental health, our stress level. Again, our daily activities are also mirrored not only here in the Virgo energy, but we also see it in the Gemini energy, both ruled by Mercury. So we're going to have this conversation between Venus and Saturn as it continues. I'm sorry, Mercury, Sun, and Saturn as it continues is about sustainability in my everyday life, using my talents and my skills to create flow. And I want to offer this too, because this 7th house Pisces is not just about marriage partnerships. It's about how you create peace of mind, how you create civility and diplomacy and harmony. It is your professional partnerships as well, and how anything that's with a committed contract, that where we sign a contract. So I think this is very powerful to change your everyday life, especially since Pluto is it rules other people's money, Pluto. It rules billionaires. It rules power and control. And that can be in a very balanced way. So when you look to the future, Virgo, and what you want, I think Pluto is your friend here. It may not feel like it at first because Pluto is not an easy planet in its initial energy, but on the transformative side, we can feel the phoenix rising from the ashes. So I want to go to the 10th, which is a pretty significant day, as we will have Mercury will have moved into Aries. And we have a new moon. Let me get to the time of that. which is 1 a.m. Pacific time. This is, I'm sorry, I did 12 p.m., 1 a.m. Pacific time. There we go. This is the 5th new moon in a row at the 20th degree. The 20th degree is a Scorpio degree. It is the Plutonian degree. So here we're planting the seeds in the darkest phase of the moon. We're connecting with spirit. We're connecting with our ancestors, with that which we cannot see with our eyes, but we can feel with our heart. I think the conversations that Mercury and the Sun were having with Saturn illuminated the kind of seeds that we wanted to plant. Pisces rules a dreamy kind of existence. It's where we really see the world for what it can be versus for what it is. And sometimes realistic and practical people call that foolhardiness. And yet the universe responds to our emotional body, and the things that bring joy and peace to our emotional body, the universe will bring more and more of that to our physical experience. So I think it's really powerful as we have this new moon, and Venus is just about to go into her exaltation. She's going to have a very, a summit, let's say, with Saturn in how she wants to build more and more. So the dreamy part of you, the part of Virgo that says, I want to ... in my career life. Again, Aquarius is your 6th house and Pisces is your 7th house. So you could have a complete change in your career and have your more sustainable, fun, dreamy, creative partnerships. And as Mercury moves into Aries, Aries being your, 8th house of transformation, this is an interesting energy, because in that 8th house, we're looking at individual expression, the transformation of individual expression. And when we look at the Virgo energy by nature, it is of service to others. And oftentimes in the human structure, we don't see that when we enslave somebody to service to our agenda and their own personal fulfillment is dumbed down, that we don't really support the best dynamic, the win-win. So I think the Virgo energy really has an opportunity to dig in deep into its wants and desires and start to create an everyday, a career experience that is more aligned to the joy that you want to experience versus duty to others. That's the way I want to put it. We're going to see later on in the 2nd house of Libra, we're going to see a lunar eclipse. It's going to offer you something. But before we get there, let's look and go to the next day after the new moon. Actually, I'll go to 2 days later when Venus has entered her exaltation here. Again, Pisces is your 7th house. Venus naturally rules the 7th house. The 7th house is where we are cooperative, where we create a sense, again, of harmony and peace. And as she moves into her exaltation, where she's so comfortable, she feels so at home, good music is playing, the wine is flowing, there's poo-poo platters everywhere, and she's enjoying herself. But she still has her eye on the prize. Here, Venus is saying, I want to take my skills, my creativity, my ability to birth my own money, and I want to make it sustainable. And Saturn says, well, let's do that through a spiritual aspect. How are you communicating with the universe? We had that conversation over here with Mercury, because as we go into this 12th house where we feel unseen, the reason we feel unseen is because we are in the 1st house embarking upon a human experience. And by the time we get to the Pisces 12th house, we are ready to go back to our natural state and enter the non-physical. So here, this is about connection with the non-physical to create strong structures that go into the physical. That's the way I want to put this. We are starting to feel this conjunction in March, strongly growing between Jupiter and Uranus. This is something that a lot of astrologers are going to talk about. Jupiter rules business and commerce and marketing and influencers and philosophies and ideologies and foreign people, foreign places. It rules the court system, the judicial system. the Supreme Court. This rules liberation and innovation and technology and futuristic things, all in the sign that is ruled by Venus. And here we see Venus as she goes into her exaltation. She's going to create a sextile with this planetary activity over here in your house, your ninth house of Taurus. So a complete rewrite of your beliefs, potentially even how you're starting to live your everyday life may start to change in ways that almost feel magical. They could very well come out of nowhere. And you may even see business on the internet that you've been nurturing as a side hustle. Let's say you have an Etsy account or you have a YouTube channel. You may see a real pop in energy there, meaning people start to really respond to whatever it is that you have to offer. Let's go to the 20th, where we will see the sun has entered its exaltation of Aries. I think this is very powerful because the sun is the king of the zodiac, and the sun rules our self-expression. The sun rules our enjoyment. It rules growth. And here we're having this conversation with Neptune. How have I wanted to grow within my own creativity, my spirituality? Some people see this as, water in the sun, and this could be construed as challenging, but I see it as like a sunset. The sun setting on the ocean and how beautiful it is and how it puts me into a vibration. And as the sun moves through the sign of its exaltation, it's going to go over these points that are going to illuminate some opportunities to transform the wound, Chiron, into a gift. And this North Node here in Aries makes me ravenous to transform, to be brave, to be pioneering, to be the hero in my own life. So I think that's really powerful. And we see Venus and Saturn having this conversation that is still, it's like a summit. That's the way I want to put it. Venus is understanding that Saturn is not trying to dampen her creativity, but asking her if she is creating something sustainable. Is she sitting on a platform where she's willing to walk through some times that may appear on the onset challenging, and yet they are the very things that will make her feel empowered and achievement and to feel exhilarated as she walks through them. So I think that's super powerful. This conjunction will take place exact here on the 21st. Let me change the time back to 12 p.m. So we see it here exact at the Piscean degree. And I just feel like this is so powerful because now we also see the sun in sextile to Pluto in conjunction with Neptune. So this is like an illumination of my creativity, of my dream life, of taking charge of my spirituality, my connection with the universe, and allowing whatever doesn't serve me, whatever is not aligned to my future, but rather taking me somewhere into the past, allowing it to do what it naturally does in its transformational process. We saw a half square to Jupiter. That's not really concerning me because I feel like the growing conjunction actually trumps that half square in energy. So this inside of the house of your belief system is really offering a liberation, a release, and expansion within some kind of business endeavor. The Taurus energy is always naturally going to trine your energy, which is supportive. All the earth signs trine one another. So we seeing even this Capricorn energy that as Pluto was in Capricorn was giving you a supportive dynamic for, I want to say, shifting into a place that is more focused on the self that then contributes to the outer world. We see on the 23rd that Mars has now moved into Pisces. And oftentimes people think that this is a dampening energy, and it can be to the fiery, angry, resentful side of Mars that wants to just plow through everything without thinking. But Mars was in a transformational process when it went through Gemini in 2022 and 2023, and really was seeing how he shows up in the world. And here, as Mars approaches a conversation with his mentor Saturn, because Mars is exalted in Capricorn, where Saturn is the lord of the house, we see very much sort of this mentor-mentee, Yoda to Luke Skywalker, or we could even say Obi-Wan to Luke Skywalker, and all about using my skills, building money in a sustainable way, using my creativity and my ability to see with my heart and not my eyeballs. I think that's really powerful. And we see that these two planets are making a sextile to Jupiter right now. That is super powerful because it's where I'm starting to connect the dots in my belief system and how that is the platform for true manifestation. We will have on the 25th a very significant lunar eclipse, the first one of 2024 and the first one of the season. It is a lunar eclipse at 12 a.m. Pacific time at 5 degrees of Libra. This is super significant because the supergalactic center is at 2 degrees, 22 minutes of the Libra energy. And this is a place where we are really being offered an opportunity to connect with ourselves in a way that is so strong that it supports our relationship with others rather than diminishing it. And here the moon is here. How am I emotionally taking care of myself? How am I using my intuitive body? Am I standing in my own personal energy of balance, harmony, and cooperation for my own desires? We see that the moon is making a trine aspect to Pluto. This seems as if it's revealing deeper bits of my psychology, my imprint, how I've shown up, historically, and maybe in my cooperativeness, I was hoping other people would empower me, and now it's in time for me to empower myself. A lunar eclipse is always on a full moon. We see the moon is in opposition here to the sun. We also see that the moon is in a square and a half to Jupiter. Now, I'm sorry, Uranus. Now, Jupiter's not showing up here because it's out of orb and the moon moves so fast. But whatever you have been garnishing during this month with Jupiter getting into a tighter conversation with Uranus, and then I want to go back to the conversation that Venus is having with Saturn, is somehow illuminated. Venus rules this lunar eclipse. We also see that the sun is making a favorable aspect in sextile to Pluto. And I think this is important again, because here we're offering transformation. We're releasing the shackles of our mind, of our duty, of our obligation, and understanding that when we play to a part of ourselves that feels authentic, feels like it brings me comfort, it feels like I'm excited to use my skills, my talents. I can't help but think of, being a chef or being a crafter or being an artist of any kind, being a woodworker, being a carpenter, being so many things that we can build and we can make money at, and yet we don't always think of it because we're just tinkering around in our garage or at our kitchen table. So I think this is going to be a very powerful lunar eclipse. If you have any personal planets within 5 to 10 degrees of the supergalactic center, that is again at 2 degrees, 22 minutes of Libra, this lunar eclipse is going to illuminate something very powerfully for you. So this is pretty much what I believe is the most significant transits of this month. They're long-standing. They are conversations that take place over days. They feel as if they continue on and build as we get further and further into the year. And when we get into April, this conjunction in your 8th house here is going to create a lot of opportunity for a new birth, a new life, a new chapter, a new perception that offers more flow of resources. All right, that's it for me for my Virgo rising. If you'd like to book a reading with me, please feel free to look in the description and reach out to me, and I will send you all the information. I'm both available for astrology readings as well as angel readings. All right, Virgo, have a lovely March. I'll see you soon.